Welcome to New Possibilities. I speak truth to power without fear. So, for this video right here, I'm going to address the question of whether or not biracial people are black. And this video is in response to a comment that one of my longtime subscribers left, and her name is Elaine. She left a thought-provoking comment, and I just want to take out time to respond to it. I did a video, and that video was basically about a black woman who was quote unquote pro-black, but who was married to a white man. And I talked about how that's a contradiction and she can't possibly be pro-black if she's married to a white man. So in response, one of my longtime subscribers, Elaine, left a comment, and basically she talked about how there was a contradiction between someone saying, well, you can't be pro-black if you're a black person who has a white spouse, but yet and still these same people turn around and accept the biracial kids as black, and they accept the biracial kids as being pro-black. So let's get into this. First of all, being pro-black is a state of mind. Now, the black woman who is with the white man, that woman is still a black woman. Her identity doesn't change. It's about her consciousness. If we're talking about being pro-black, that's a state of mind. That's not some genetic trait. It's not a genetic trait that you pass on to your children or something like that. So it's not like you physically pass on pro-blackness to your children. That is something that has to be taught and something that people have to be educated on. So just because someone's parents are not pro-black, it doesn't mean that they can't be pro-black. So that's the first point. The other thing is this: if it is a state of mind, and if, pro-blackness is a state of mind, it's a state of consciousness, political consciousness. If someone is biracial, they can still be pro-black if they have a pro-black state of mind, if they are advocates for their people, if they fight for their people, if they have dedicated their lives to their people, they can still be pro-black regardless of the fact that they have one parent who is non-black. The fact of the matter is no one chooses their parents. If someone is biracial, they are, part black and part white. But in this society in which we live, for all intents and purposes, a biracial person is just another black person as far as the society is concerned. They are still treated like second-class citizens as far as the society is concerned. They are still viewed as a quote-unquote N-word in this society. And a prime example of that, as one of my subscribers pointed out in another video, is Barack Obama, President Barack Obama. This is a biracial man. His father was from Kenya, and his mother was a white woman from Kansas. And this brother, his father was an immigrant. He really didn't even know his father. He was raised by his white grandparents and his white mother. So you would think that the larger society would accept him as one of their own or whatever. But they treated him just like the N-word. They saw him as the N-word. Referred to him as a terrorist, had this idea, this birtherism idea that somehow he wasn't American because he was black and because he had an African name. They have made mockery of his family. They have depicted his family as a family of chimpanzees. They have depicted him as a witch doctor. They have depicted his wife as some kind of militant, as some kind of radical and all that kind of stuff. They have even gone as far as to say that she's a man and stuff like that. That's how they treated that biracial man. They treated him just like the N-word. When the police stop and harass black people and brutalize black people, they don't say, well, is one of your parents white? I remember this incident where this young brother got shot. The police stopped him, and within seconds, they shot him. And they were saying that they thought they were pulling their taser. I can't remember the brother's name, but somebody will leave it in the comments. They said that they thought they were pulling their taser, and they pulled a gun. The fact that that young brother was biracial didn't change anything as far as the police were concerned. They saw an N-word. So let's not get it messed up. Let's not get it twisted. The fact of the matter is the larger society views biracial people as black. And the other thing is this: in light of the history of slavery, where our ancestors were raped by this white man, because of that legacy, many black people in this country are descendants of white men. They have a white father somewhere down in their DNA. And many of, there's a lot of diversity within the African American community. You have all these different complexions in the black community because of this intermarriage and because of the legacy of slavery and stuff like that. If we were to divide ourselves up into categories based on, how much blackness we have and all that kind of stuff, we would be a divided and conquered people. We are already a quote unquote minority within America. The last thing we need to do is divide ourselves up even further. And by, having this ultra extreme type of position where you got to have 100% blackness in your DNA in order to be considered black, we would undermine ourselves and do ourselves a disservice. That kind of attitude will leave us in a situation where we wouldn't accept somebody pro-black like a Bob Marley, somebody putting out positive, inspiring, uplifting, conscious music to motivate the masses. We would have rejected somebody like that. We would have even rejected somebody like a Malcolm X, one of the most militant images of black manhood, because his mother had white DNA and all that kind of stuff. We will reject a Frederick Douglass, an abolitionist who fought for the liberation of his people, and so many other countless black people or biracial people in our history. We will reject somebody like a W.E.B. Du Bois, one of the greatest minds in our community, one of the greatest scholars in our community, somebody who dedicated his entire life to the upliftment of black people, somebody who dedicated his entire life to Pan-Africanism, despite his light complexion. So let's not divide and conquer ourselves. And to me, this whole anti-biracial sentiment is akin to like a reverse colorism as far as I'm concerned. We cannot afford to divide and conquer ourselves and have inter-group fighting and all that kind of stuff, given the fact that we are already in a position of being a quote-unquote minority in this country. So those are my thoughts about this. Tell me what y'all think. Please rate, comment, subscribe, like the video, share the video, hit that notification bell so that you'll know when I post new content on here. And for those of you who like to read great books, who love to discuss great books, I encourage you to like our Facebook page. We meet on the last Sundays of each month at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we have a meeting today, and we'll be discussing Above Ground by Clint Smith. It's a book of poetry. Since this is the last day of poetry month, we will be reading and discussing that book today at 2 p.m. So join us. Even if you haven't read the book, feel free to check out the discussion and join the discussion. So with that, peace and blessings. Have a great day.